Good morning everyone, Senan this side, and in this video we are going to solve this LeetCode 179, which is the largest number. It's a medium problem, but when you look at the solution you would realize it's way too simple. So you would be given a list of non-negative integers. This is important. Arrange them such that they form the largest number and return it. How do they form the largest number? So since the result may be very large, you need to return a string instead of an integer. Now you see 10 and 2. So either you could use first the 2, then you could use the 10, which would actually give you 210, or the other way around would be 10 and then 2. So the maximum would be 210. That is what you return. In this case, the maximum you could actually get by rearranging the terms is 9, then 5, then 34, 30, oh no, 3, then 30, right? So that is the order. So not you won't find a pattern exactly when you see these two numbers, any two numbers in the list. Figure out the larger the first digit, the more chance it has to occur initially. Now 9 and 5 are having the ones digit as higher than any digit present in these three elements. That is the reason 9 and 5 are in the front of the list. Now how do you do this problem? So basically in a way you have to do some sort of sorting. That is what I feel. You have to sort these elements in such a way that they follow a property. And what property is that? If you sort 30 and 34, either 30 would come before 34 or 34 would come before, right? And how do you check that? First you try to concatenate the string 34 and 30, so that is 3430, and you compare with this with 3034, the other way around, and whichever is in the front is the number that you should put initially in this answer list. Now that explanation might not be clear to everyone, but when you see the solution you would understand each and everything. So before that, you could see this solution is accepted, and let's go the solution itself. Okay, so now what I do is I have to do the sorting, and we'll see the way that we actually sort. Don't look at this right now, but now what am I trying to do here is string of answer is the empty string initially, and what I do is for every element in this sorted nums list I append that to my answer by converting that to a string, and in the end I return the answer. And if you look this carefully, let's say every number in your integer is actually 0, so you won't return an integer of 0 0 0 0 0 0 if the first number itself is a 0. So that means nums of 0, and not of nums of 0, that means this is 1 if and only if nums of 0 is actually 0. If any integer in this, if all the integers in this nums list is actually 0, you just return the zeros, right? So that is now the main thing of this problem is this sort. Now clearly I'm just sorting the numbers nums.begin to nums.end, and this is the lambda function that I have given. And how, given this num1 and num2, you convert to, you get two strings n1 and n2, and what you do is you check you check n1 plus n2 is greater than n2 plus n1. So after n1 plus n2 would do the concatenation of these two strings, right? And after concatenating them, you would do a lexicographical comparison of these two elements. So whichever is larger lexicographically, that is the number that should appear before n1 should appear before n2 if this statement is true. Otherwise n2 should appear before n1. So that is how I am trying to order num1 and num2, and clearly that is as easy as it could be. Now one more thing to note, that nums of I is 10 to the power 9. It's 10 to the power 9. So at max this would have 10 digits. After converting to a string, it would have at max 10 digits. So converting and comparing could treat that as a constant time operation in a way, because the size is at max 10 or less than. We have an upper bound for this. Regardless of the size of the input, the length of this list would be in a way constant time. And you also consider this as a constant space, because n1 would have maximum 10 and n2 would have maximum 10 length. So we go of maybe 20 is the space complexity for this, and the returning the answer, right? In the worst case, when you would have a case like this, you have nums length is 100, right? And every 100 element could have a maximum length of what? A 10, right? So 100 times 10, which is 1000. So the answer could be at max 1000 characters or less than 1000 characters. So in that way you could also say big O of 1000, or if you want you could actually say the spacity is n times, right? So n times 10, which is big O of n space. Here we had big O of space, what the size, so big O of 20 space. So this has a space complexity of big O of n, whereas the time space complexity is big of n and time complexity is n log n for sorting, assuming this is taking constant time because we are bounded, we have an upper bound of every element. So that is the reason I'm saying. So yeah, that was the whole video. Hope I was able to explain this to you. I did not try to do it in a notebook because it's quite obvious what I'm trying to do. N1 plus n2, n2 plus n1, the idea. Yep, that the video. So thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.